What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Cheeky Crypto Uncensored. I am JB, and today we're going to dive into the world of Shiba Inu, take a look at what is happening with the price action across the 1 hour, the 1 day and the 1 week timeframes, what has happened and what is likely to happen next. Guys, if you're enjoying the content over here at Cheeky Crypto Uncensored, please do smash up that like button, subscribe, tapping on the bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video coming to you from Cheeky Crypto or Cheeky Crypto Uncensored. Let's get straight on down to the charts today. Shiba Inu paired up with USDT. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 is the data source, where we can see we are tracking this move down here in the fifth wave. We have been targeting this for quite some time, between 67.953 and 65.378. Yes, there is 5 zeros ahead of that, but I'm not going to repeat the zeros each and every time. I'm sure you guys can see what it is we are looking at here. So this fifth wave move to the downside, we can see this looks like it is going to go down quite a bit further yet, with the 1 hour and the 4 hour stochastics looking for a bit of a push to the downside, bringing us back down in this third wave internally to this fifth wave. This is Elliott wave theory, of course. It can be complex and it can be, a bit difficult to understand, but fortunately you could go over and learn that at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦. There is of course up there for you guys. But we will get back onto the chart here, where we can see through the lens of smart money concepts, we do still have a weak low on the charts, and we do still have a strong high on the charts, expecting this weak low to be broken and the move to the downside to continue. We can also take note of the position of the EMAs, the 50 EMA currently being tested just now over here on the 1 hour chart, with the 200 EMA all the way up here at equilibrium. We're trading quite away from this at the current moment in time. So when we look at this breakdown here in this wave 3 structure, we have a couple of scenarios ongoing. Now, we could be tripped up with this one by thinking this low here is the wave 5 of the first wave. However, I don't think that is the case. It may be, time will tell, but under the way I'm looking at the charts just now, I think we'll have a very small wave 2 right up here, and I will show you what it is I'm looking at, with this being a wave 1, 2, a wave 3, 4 and 5 right up in here being the wave 1. Then this move down here being another wave 5 wave structure, which I'm seeing as the wave 1 of the next structure, with this bounce to the upside being the wave 2. All of this move here being the wave 3, this being wave 4, and we are currently in this fifth wave of this third wave to the downside. This is obviously complex, guys. I've said it before, but I do think it's quite an easy task to learn Elliott wave theory if you're willing to dedicate the time to this one. So you can learn that obviously at memberships.cheekycrypto.io. So when we take these structures that are playing out here, we measure the move down here in this wave 1 over to the top of wave 2, and we look for this impulsive move to the downside. We could see this would have came here at 38,507 on this big long wicked candle to the downside in the wave 3, where we can obviously then take note of a bounce to the upside as the wave 4, which I do believe we have now seen, and we are targeting down this move in the fifth wave, which if we grab the wave 3 low, the wave 4 high, we could be targeting this fifth wave move down to 66,726 to as low as 65,816. So we can see where we are expecting this price to carry on down to. However, the move could be complete right in here, as we have bounced on quite considerably from here. So we have two options as to what's going on here. We have a 5 wave drop here, we have another 5 wave drop. We can expect one more 5 wave drop within this third wave scenario under Elliott wave theory's impulsive structure. So we could park this one for now and explore the option that this fifth wave has ended here and truncated. However, it did pass the wave 3 low. We would obviously be looking for a bounce to the upside, which I think we're going to fail to get as high as, but we would obviously expect a typical retracement between this area here of 69.45 and 70.157, where from here we would then expect one more 5 wave move to the downside into this area between 66.440 and 65.310. Yes, that's a lot of zeros, that's a lot of numbers and a lot of expectations, but I can draw this one out for you to make it simple. We had our wave 1 with a 5 wave structure, a small wave 2, this big wave 3 containing a 5 wave structure, this move up into wave 4, which may be complete here, and it may be starting the 5th wave move to the downside. This is the typical retracement of the wave 4, and I expect this last push down here in the 5th wave move to the downside. we'll just change these boxes to yellow so we know that these boxes align to the structure we are currently looking at. So we can do a couple of checks on this one and see if this meets a minimum requirement for this wave 4. We have the wave 2 high, the wave 3 low. Minimum expectation for this one would be the 236 fib level, and we can see we have passed higher than the 236, failing to hit the typical area between the 38.2 and the 50% retracement, and we could be looking at this as the fifth wave in motion to the downside, where we can do one last sense check, one last target area, and again we could see another truncated fifth wave coming in here between 66.734 and 66.076. So these are the two areas that we have of interest just now for this wave 3 move. The wave 3 being this obviously bit more of a macro structure to the downside on this 1 hour chart. From here, guys, I do expect a good bounce to the upside, which I will be looking to capitalize on. I do think that will be quite a fantastic trading opportunity. We could have an early look at this one. We'll take it to the worst case scenario. We'll be looking again for the push to the 38.2 to the 50% retracement, and if we were to see this kind of move, we would be seeing quite fantastic gains across these shorter time frames. A 6 to an 8% push to the upside. It is obviously quite a fantastic opportunity to be trading with those ones, guys. Of course, if you want to know more about our trading, join us down in our free Discord. It is linked in the description down below. We've covered off a lot there on the 1 hour chart. It is complex, it can be a bit mind-boggling to get your head around all these Elliott wave structures, but when you apply the rules necessary here, it does make a bit more sense, and it's it's a bit easier to understand these candles that are playing out recently. It has been very volatile in the space, but what we will do is we will jump over onto the higher time frames and the 1 day chart. It does look like we are breaking down here in an extension to this WXY that we previously tracked from over here, August 2022. We obviously were looking for this Y wave move to the downside. We got it on the 10th of June this year. We'll be seeing this big drop to the downside. However, the moves that have played out recently leads us to think that we are not in a WXY, but in fact in a WXY, X and Z. This is the potential structure that I do think is playing out here for Shiba Inu. Now we can do our sense checks on this structure also. We can take the low and the high here of the initial W wave under a W, X, Y, X and Z structure. All prices relate back to the initial move to the downside in the W wave. So what we can see here, if we take the high of the wave W and the low of the wave W, this first X wave is typical retracement is between the 50 and 80% area, and we can see this one did come high up on this area, so we can park the X wave up here. Then the secondary X wave is again between the 50 to 80%, and we can see once again we did come up very high here. We never surpassed the 1-to-1 and we broke on down from here, so we can also park the secondary X wave as meeting its expectations. So this move here is the move down here in the initial W wave. We can take it to the high of the X wave, and we can see it did hit the 1.382, giving us the Y wave as hitting its its typical target here. Then on the Z wave, this is the one that's a bit more broad to target out, but we can draw out this as is. You take the initial move of the W wave to the high of the secondary X wave, and you will be looking for a move between the 618 fib level and the 1.236 fib level. So we can see we are bouncing off of the top of this fib level currently. On the smaller time frames, we are finding a bit of support on this higher level here at 67,661. So this may bounce up from here before continuing to the downside, but I do feel a continued move to the downside is likely. You can see we do have highlighted on the chart here 65,582 to 65,593. This is obviously an area of previous support for SHIB, a little bit of resistance here across a couple of candles, but this is the next likely area I do expect SHIB to come on down to. As we did obviously discuss on the lower time frames, we can see this one breaking down before we move to the upside, so everything is starting to align pretty well here for SHIB. We can also take note here, we've had 2 touch points on this upper trend line. There is a possibility we do come up to test this again before we break to the downside. However, I do not think that this is a likely scenario. And we can also have a look over here that we are, potentially setting more lows on a trend line here. We are bouncing off of this lower trend line. This may come down to test this before finding a bounce to the upside. So we do have a few key levels here that are, areas of interest for this next move to the downside. but I do think we will see this price continue to break down a little bit further before we do see a nice healthy push to the upside, which unfortunately guys, I do then expect another break to the downside on the daily time frame for Shiba Inu. Jumping over here lastly to the 1 week chart. This is what I wanted to come back to in particular in this video. I covered it off in the main channel at the start of this month. There was articles floating about that Shiba Inu was expecting a 422% push to the upside in the month of October. Yes, we have not seen that, and I squashed that theory as the video did break because it happened previously. The article was basically forecasting it had to happen again, but they decided to miss out the fact that the next again October only had a 64% push to the upside. And what have we seen so far for this month of October? Well, we have actually seen nothing. We haven't seen any price action. September moving up 9.5%. However, we can look at the month of October and the price has actually dropped down 11.83%. So I was very happy to squash that potential. I'm glad we did. We covered it off on the channel. Stop many folk getting trapped out by these articles that really shouldn't be spoken about, I don't think. We can see previously we were looking at this as a WXY to the downside here, and we are now obviously looking at this move down here as a WXY X, and we're looking for this final push down in the Z wave. So the potential we do have here guys is a new bear market low for Shiba Inu, or will this act as the area of support on this move to the downside? We can see the 1 day, the 1 week and the 1 month stochastics are oversold, looking for a move to the upside, and also the RSI coming down to the 38.28 area right here. I do think a little bit more to the downside for SHIB before we see quite a good return to the upside in the next bull run. Let us know your thoughts and your opinions guys. What is your target for SHIB in the next bull run? We obviously see the idea floating about that SHIB is going to 1 cent. We can take this down to the current price today. If SHIB was to go up to 1 cent, yes, it would be absolutely fantastic. But is that really likely to happen? If we bring this one down to here, you're talking about 145,000% return. Listen, if it happens and you guys are invested, I'm going to be absolutely delighted for you. I just do not think that that is the possibility. If we had real expectations about here, if it was to even think about a 100x, you're talking about it coming up to 72190. Yes, it would be losing 2 full decimal points here on its price analysis. So yeah, I think it's a case of pure speculation as to where SHIB can go in the next bull run. We can see that it's no longer a meme coin no more. We can see that there's obviously a fully fledged ecosystem building on SHIB now, with the likes of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠, Bone and so forth. I do think that, you know, SHIB will do very well for the next bull run. I will be investing in it personally as like an outside chance of, you know, what SHIB can do going forward. However, I do think Bone has more utility. It has more chances of giving you better returns for the bull run. However, that is obviously my thought, my opinion, as is everything else in today's video. Do with it as you like, but I'm not obviously a financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice. These are purely thoughts and opinions. But guys, please do let us know in the comments down below what you thought of everything we did discuss in today's video. Smash up the like button, subscribe, tap on the bell, all the usual good stuff. If you are going to trade, please do trade safely. Have a nice tight stop loss, make some great gains, stay safe in the space, and until next time guys, have a very nice day.